Looks like the U.S. Navy achieved a pretty significant milestone on the 16th of December 2025, and I have not heard anybody talking about it. The U.S. Navy conducted the very first ever at-sea launch of a low-cost unmanned combat attack system, also known as a LUCAS, which is a one-way attack drone that's also known as a loitering munition from a warship. Now, service members operating under Task Force 59, which is the Navy's Unmanned Systems Integrations Unit, launched the LUCAS from the flight deck of the Independence-class littoral combat ship USS Santa Barbara, LCS-32, while it was in the process of transiting the Arabian Gulf, also known as the Persian Gulf. Now, the LUCAS drone used in this test belongs to Task Force Scorpion Strike, which is a newly established U.S. Central Command unit activated on December 3rd of 2025. This is the U.S. military's first directed one-way attack drone squadron deployed to the Middle East to rapidly field affordable, scalable, unmanned strike capabilities and also enhance deterrence in the region. Now, let's talk about some of the key details of this LUCAS drone, or this low-cost unmanned combat attack system. So this particular drone was developed by Arizona-based Spectre Works and is a modular low-cost loitering munition reverse engineered from Iran's Shahed 136, which has been very famously known or made famous for its use in Russia and Ukraine, and also by the Iranian proxies that have launched them all over CENTCOM, hitting U.S. installations and launching them into Israel. It features a pretty big delta wing design that's about 10 feet long by 8-foot wingspan, and it uses simple, robust components for mass production, so that way it can be produced quickly and efficiently. It's got a pretty extensive range with autonomous operation, and it's got rocket-assisted or catapult launch operations, so it can be launched in a couple of different ways. And it can loiter over a target area before diving to detonate, meaning it can just like sit up there in the air and like rotate around in circles and loiter in the area until it's like, hey, we need you to strike this thing. So you could launch a bunch of these things all up in the air and just have them loitering in the air until you're ready to actually conduct a mission. So that way you can like actually lay the groundwork or the prep work for conducting direct action stuff. Like, okay, well, let's go ahead and launch like 15 of these things. We'll keep them up there for about 10-15 minutes. As soon as they hit the altitude where they begin loitering, then we hit the strike, and then they can go down or whatever. They could be a trigger mechanism, setting the conditions or setting the stage for some other operation to happen. So pretty beneficial. Now, some variants of this thing actually support modular payloads for reconnaissance or communications relays as well, so it's not just about strike capabilities. The estimated cost per unit is roughly the same amount you would pay for a brand new car, or $35,000. It's a lot cheaper to buy a brand new Toyota Camry than it is to buy a brand new Mercedes-Benz, which is what a lot of these missiles cost. And oftentimes more like a Lamborghini. Now, this thing is intended to counter the asymmetric advantages of low-cost drones that are being used by adversaries currently at this time, which is going to flip the cost imposition dynamic in contested environments in the Middle East. Now, this is a pretty significant event because this is the first time this has ever been done by U.S. military warships. And this launch just demonstrates that the integration of ship-based unmanned strike options on platforms like littoral combat ships, which have large flight decks suitable for these types of operations, is going to become something that is commonplace or easily accomplished. It's going to continue to build on the land-based testing that they've done earlier in 2025, where they were testing these drones not on ships, but in testing areas like probably California, Nevada, Arizona, other places that have large expansive environments. Now, Vice Admiral Kurt Renshaw, who is the commander of U.S. Naval Forces Central Command, called it a, quote, significant milestone in delivering innovative, affordable capabilities to warfighters for enhanced maritime security and deterrence. Now, I know that you've seen the photos and videos of this thing like launching from the USS Santa Barbara with like a white plume coming out of the back. A lot of people probably thought that was like white phosphorus or something, or it was like the same type of thing you've seen on the Dragon drones. But that's not. That's just a propulsion system or launch trail that's shooting out of its rear during its initial launch phase from the ship. And also exhaust smoke from the rocket-assisted takeoff booster, or RATO or RATO booster, which uses a solid fuel rocket motor attached beneath or to the drone in order to provide it the thrust needed for it to accelerate quickly to get off of the flight deck. And the reason why you see thick white smoke or what looks like sparks or something like that is because it's primarily aluminum oxide particles and water vapor from the propellant combustion that happens to look like that. Once the booster burns out, which only takes a few seconds, it's jettisoned, and then the drone transitions to its main propeller engine, which produces much less visible exhaust and can help it travel reportedly between 1,000 and 2,000 kilometers, depending on payload, although that could vary significantly from drone to drone. And they're definitely not going to release that information on Google. But what this does is it allows these drones to conduct long-range strikes or have prolonged loitering over targets, which means that they'll be able to loiter for a longer period of time. These things are guided with autonomous operations with GPS or inertial navigation systems. They're resistant to basic jamming and can loiter, search for targets, and then dive on impact. Apparently, they're powered by a small Limbach L550 or similar four-cylinder two-stroke gasoline engine. So it's not electric, it's gasoline. And it's capable of having a modular warhead with, typically 40 to 50 kilograms in weight. And like I said, it's got potential to be made into different variants depending on if you're just trying to do ISR or surveillance or reconnaissance or just electronic warfare. So at the end of the day, this is just going to be another capability that the U.S. Navy can use to remain flexible while they're deployed overseas in contested environments where the opposition that they may encounter have similar types of technology. And they're cheap and mass producible by the United States if we need to. Okay, guys, that's it for the daily roll-up for today. I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you for watching it from start to finish. It does encourage the algorithm to show this video to more people when you watch it all the way through. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you can like this video, you can leave a comment in the comment section below, or you can share this video with your friends. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys being here. I can't do this without you guys, and we will see you in the next video.